Hey Legacy Builders, welcome back to Mind Your Money. In today's video, I'm tracking my expenses for the last week on my Quicksilver credit card. And I think we're going to track from, what was that, till the 13th. So from the 7th through the 13th. And we'll see if there are any specific, special days where we spent money where it was kind of, I don't know, extravagant. I'm hoping there were no extravagant spending days. So here's what I'm going to do while I get ready, setting up my statement online so I can track what I have written here and then fill in anything that's missing. Please open up your annual budget workbook or your annual budget digital spreadsheet and let's track together. I'm going to filter my dates between the 7th and the 13th. And I'll track my payments too. Although I don't write them in, I'll share with you and be reminding myself at the same time what dates payments were made. So it looks like the 7th, which was last week Sunday, was a no spend day. So we did not spend any money on the 7th of July. I hope you can see everything clearly. So I did fill that in, right? Mommy, yep, the 7th was a no spend.
You said we're going to continue watching the Lego Ninjago movie.
Okay, on the 8th, my electricity bill posted for $79. And we are trying to get this down. So what I'm doing, because we're out more during the day, during the summer, we would be burning less electricity, right? So that's one way. The second way is to unplug things that are not being used in the house, turn off lights, that are not being used, because we will run the air conditioner more often, again, because it's hot. But there are other ways to lower the electricity bill, and this is one of the ways I know. I've used this strategy before, and it's helpful anyway, whether you're on a debt-free journey or not. But I definitely want to lower this because we used to budget around $50 and we would always come under budget, and now we're like budgeting $85, which is too much. So when I can lower this, then I'll have more money to put towards the debt. On the 9th, there were no charges posted, so that is a no spend day. On the 10th, the first expense was from MTA, and that's a Metro card purchase for $34. That will come from transportation. And then on the 10th, what's not written here is a credit reward redemption for $1.19. I just reduced some old charges by $1.19. So basically what's happening, anytime a charge is posted and we earn the rewards from that purchase, I'm immediately using that to reduce the balance a little bit more, on top of the automatic payments that we're making each month and the manual payments we're making multiple times during the week. Then there was a no spend day on the 11th, no charges posted, so I am doing better with making sure we're not spending all willy-nilly from the credit card. We've been using our cash that we saved for summer spending, and we've been using any money we have in like our spending accounts, so that means our debit card, which is not a norm for us because we don't really use that. If we don't pull out cash, or if we don't have cash like gifts or something like that to spend, we would use the credit card. And we are really working hard and diligently to not use this credit card. And when I say we, just in case you're new here, that's myself, it's me, Tasha, and then my husband. Then the first charge on the 12th was Starbucks. I think it was me and the kids that day. One of the days I ran an errand. So I spent $19.38. And I want to explain this for a second because I'm remembering why I went here. I had cash, but it started to rain, right? And picture this situation. We're in the car. I have a baby who's sleeping, and I have two small kids, a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. In the car, it's raining, and I'm trying to see if I can get whatever breakfast we can without having to take everybody out of the car, go inside, and then get back in the car. if you have children, if you don't, let me explain this to you. It is not that easy, especially when you have a sleeping baby. She just turned 5 months. And then you have 2 small kids who are boys and rambunctious. It's not easy. So I decided to just order through the app and go through the drive-through and say, hey, I have an order for Tasha. And they would just, give me my food. It was just easier. So that's why I spent the $19.38. But I do have that cash already, like sitting literally in my purse that I can deposit and just pay this off, which eventually it will happen because I have to run out this week to the bank anyway. So by the time you see this video, I may have already done that. All right, so that's as far as I tracked on my own in this workbook on my expense tracker. So the next expense or the next posted transaction was a credit reward redemption for 51 cents on the 12th. And then on the 13th, a payment posted for $39.66. And that's it for the charges. I do have some pending charges. I have pending charges for tickets we bought to see a movie sometime this week, and then my Spectrum internet bill hit for $87. But that's it. This is it for the last week. The 7th was a no spend. That's one. The 9th was a no spend. The 11th was a no spend. So 3 no spends and only 1, 2, and 3 charges, which is, to me, that's amazing. So we spent $79, and that was a bill. So that's a regular recurring expense. It's going to be paid every month. $34 for a Metro card and $19.38 for food. We spent $132.38 in the last week. $132.38. $79 was a bill, $34 for transportation, and $19.38 for food. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was quick and to the point. We are not where I want to be as far as the balance, getting the balance down, because our Geico insurance bill did hit the last one for until the next policy period. So we're still at $4,300 as a balance. I'm working on getting it down as quickly as possible. If you remember about a month or 2 months ago, I hope it wasn't 2 months ago, but I feel like it might have been 2 months ago when I announced how, that we really need to attack this credit card. We were over 8,000. I think 8,500, and now we're at 43. So we're making progress, and it's about progress, not perfection. I know it would be nice to come on here and, and say, hey, y'all, I just dropped $1,500 on my credit card. But the consistency is what makes the difference. Because a lot of people start off really intense and ready to get their credit together or ready to pay down their debt, and then after a while they fizzle out. But it's the consistency that's harder. So it's like having a bonus or getting a huge commission check or getting a large tax refund is great because you can put a larger amount to your debt. But consistently making an effort to track your expenses, to put money on, add it into your budget and say, look, I have to pay down this debt or I have to pay an extra payment on the credit card. It takes a lot of diligence and work, and sometimes it can get tiring. But consistency, for me, is what paid off those student loans. And it wasn't an easy time to do it because a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people, were saying, well, it's on pause and there's no interest, so don't worry about it, and they may be forgiven. And most people were saving up their money and not paying directly on it, but saving it up in high yield savings accounts to get the interest. And that was good too. That was a good strategy. But to really look at it like this, small amounts do add up. But you have to do it consistently. And if you get discouraged because, oh, I could only put $30 on my debt, like the last payment that I just made that posted on the 13th was for $39. But I did it. And imagine if that was interest, $39 of interest accruing weekly or monthly. That starts to add up. And so I think every dime we put towards our debt is going in the right direction. And sometimes it can be a little disheartening because, you get interest on credit cards, have some of the highest interest rates. My credit card is almost 29%, I believe. But still, I'm doing it in such a way where I'm not only utilizing the cash rewards, even though it's small amounts, they still reduce the balance for me. And I'm doing that almost every 2 or 3 days. I'm making payments at least once a week, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week. And then I set up an automatic payment. Although it doesn't cover the minimum that's due, the minimum for my credit card is like $216. But I'm paying more than that because I'm paying weekly. And I'm making sure it's in my budget. And whenever I see extra money somewhere, I'm using it to reduce the balance. Because it's important that we get this down so we can move forward in our lives. So I said all of that just to bring some encouragement and to add a little bit of extra, what do I want to say? Encouragement. Yeah, bring a little more encouragement to the videos, because some people are seeing this and are like, well, what's the balance and what's happening? And I don't want to mislead anybody. We are actively using this card, but we are also actively and aggressively paying it off. So I try to show you screenshots so you know for sure, hey, this is how much we paid. This is how much we spent. Because it's good for me. As I'm managing, as the CFO of my household, I have to manage these things. And it's good for the audience, the people viewing, because you get to see a real life person digging their way out of $8,000 worth of credit card debt. And we're not here for anything small or simple. We had another baby and we were preparing. And we weren't expecting to have another child, but life happens. So don't beat up on yourself if you feel like you're not exactly where you want to be. Just remember that you have the ability to get wealth. Everybody does. It was given to us. It was gifted to us. But we have to be diligent even when we make mistakes and get ourselves out of it, knowing that we do have the ability to do it. We do, and it's challenging, but it's not difficult. And I'm saying that, and I'm trying to use my words carefully and choose how I'm saying it carefully, because it is not difficult. It is challenging, because to get out of debt, to restrict your spending in certain areas, is challenging to you to gain that discipline, so that you can build up other areas of your life. If that's building an emergency fund for the first time or the second or third time, if that is saving up to buy a car in cash or make a huge down payment, or to change your living location. Maybe you want to live somewhere else and you need your down payment for the house, or you need, first and second, last month's security or rent so you can rent somewhere else. It takes discipline to do that. And I'm being very detailed because I need to know where this money is coming from and where it's going. Because if I do not know where it's coming from and where it's going, I put myself and my family in a very difficult position. When I was having challenges with the depression, and I was purchasing Monopoly Go fake money and dice to roll, I was in a really difficult place. But if I had not been tracking and seeing, if I didn't physically have to look at all of those charges, it was a ridiculous amount. And I had to keep paying and paying and paying. It hurt, but I had to look at it, because if I ignored it and pretended this is not happening, or it didn't happen, because if you don't see it, it's not there. It was there. And I had to review the spending, and I shared it on the channel. And that's transparency that I think people who are watching, if you are really in this journey to get free from financial stress, then this is where you should see the realness of it, and not a fluffy, beautifully painted picture that doesn't depict real life. This is my real life that I'm sharing a portion of it with you, because I feel like other women should know that it is important to do these things. It is important to budget your money. It is important to track your expenses and track your spending. And it's also important to be honest with yourself when you know there's something going on internally, and I need to work on these issues and challenges so I can be better with my money, because I want to travel the world. I want to own properties. I want to invest thousands of dollars every month. Like, whatever your why is, you have to start with the basics. And that's why my channel is set up the way it is. And I hope and pray that whoever's watching this, you gain some inspiration, you gain insight, whether from the lessons I've learned or the things that I've done that were wrong. And you can choose to go in a better way. So I hope you were encouraged. I hope you were inspired. And I hope you tracked your expenses with me. Thank you so much for being here for as long as you were. Continue to mind your money, you guys. Manage it well and live your lives abundantly. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.
Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just 3